If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of humanity, even in the toughest hearts, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to HOA Chronicles. Because sometimes the hardest-looking people are the ones with the biggest hearts. The day had barely begun. Golden sunlight spilled across a dusty roadside bar, where the low hum of engines mixed with the smell of coffee, leather, and gasoline. The men inside, big, tattooed bikers, laughed over breakfast, unaware that in just moments, everything would change. Then came the sound that froze every heart in the room, a desperate, terrified cry. Everyone turned. Through the doorway stumbled a little girl, no older than 7, wearing a red dress and clutching a pink backpack tight against her chest. Her cheeks were streaked with tears and dirt, her boots dragging across the floor as she gasped, "Please, they're hurting my mama. Someone help her." The laughter stopped. The air went still. Even the jukebox seemed to fall silent. One man stood first, Mason Cole, a broad-shouldered biker with the Hells Angels patch stitched across his back. He'd seen violence before, but never feared this pure. He knelt beside the trembling child, his rough voice gentling. "Where is she?" "Sweetheart." She pointed toward the old highway that curved behind the woods. "They're beating her," she sobbed. Without hesitation, Mason rose to his feet. "Tank, rider, with me." 3 engines roared to life. Tires screeched as the bikers sped down the road, leaving a trail of dust and silence behind them. Inside the bar, the other bikers wrapped the little girl in a leather jacket, sitting her by the window so she could watch the road. Her hands gripped her backpack like it held her whole world. Minutes later, in the distance, came the sound, shouting, breaking glass, and the thunder of engines cutting through the chaos. Mason and his brothers burst through the door of a run-down trailer. A drunk man was screaming, his fists already bloodied, cornering a woman too weak to fight back. Before he could strike again, Mason caught his wrist mid-swing and twisted hard. The bottle he was holding crashed to the floor as the other bikers pinned him down. No words, just action. When the police sirens echoed moments later, Mason didn't run. He helped the woman to her feet, Carla, bruised and trembling, while her daughter clung to his leg, sobbing with relief. When the cops arrived, the truth came out. Carla's ex, fresh out of jail, had tracked her down. But because of that one brave little girl and the men no one expected to care, she was alive. Back at the bar, the crowd waited anxiously. Then they saw Mason return, carrying the child in his arms, her mother walking slowly behind. The place fell silent. No one spoke. They didn't have to. Carla thanked the bikers through tears. Mason just nodded toward the little girl and said, "She's the real hero here." Before they left, the Hells Angels draped their jackets over Carla and Hannah's shoulders, a simple act that spoke louder than words. Over the next few weeks, the story spread through the town. People donated food, furniture, and a small apartment for Carla and Hannah. And every Sunday, a few motorcycles could be seen parked outside their new home. Mason and his crew checking in, making sure the world didn't forget them. Months later, on a bright spring morning, Hannah ran into the diner, holding a crayon drawing. It showed a row of bikes, a little girl in red, and a tall man kneeling beside her. "This is us," she said proudly. Mason looked at the drawing for a long time before folding it gently and tucking it inside his vest. "That's staying with me," he whispered, "everywhere I ride." If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to HOA Chronicles, because sometimes the toughest hearts carry the gentlest souls.